In these 49 long years, Meghalaya's journey has been challenging yet exciting. We have crossed many milestones, but at the same time made numerous mistakes which have cost the state dearly. All we can hope for is that Meghalaya learns from its past mistakes and strives for better governance, finer infrastructure, quality education, improved health services, and others. Here's what the people of Meghalaya have to say on the 49-year-long journey of the state.
Well, it's nearly 50 years that we have had our statehood. I've seen it right from the day it was born. I was here. We were young people then. There was a different life. Today it's quite different. But I'm so sad to say that the changes that have taken place have not been as per the expectations of the hill state movement. We have got our own hill state, we have got our own administration, we have got our own governance. But unfortunately, I think we have more or less not come up, We have started sliding down. Instead of climbing up, we have started sliding down. And that is worrying. There are three aspects of life that one has to take into consideration: the political, the social, and the economic. And in all three aspects, I think we have not progressed. Instead, we have taken 3 or 4 steps backwards. That is very, very worrying, of deep concern. So, I think we have to pull up our socks so that there will be a brighter future for our children ahead. We are now into the 21st century. There are other challenges that are facing the state and the people, both for the Garo Hills, the Khasi Hills, the Jaintia Hills. I think these challenges need to be met with a sense of reality and practicality, rather than the sort of emotional and sentimental approach that has taken place so far.
I feel that Shillong is like a mini Northeast where students from all over, if not India, all over the Northeast come and for their studies out here, not just in academics but also music and other fields, and it's a pretty mixed up place, and people gel in here very nicely. At the end of the day, I'm proud to be a Meghalayan, although I'm not a tribe that is indigenous to this place, but I'm proud to say that I'm a Meghalayan.
So Meghalaya is entering its 49th year on the 21st of January, and next year we are celebrating 50 years of this state. In all of these 49 years, Meghalaya has made some progress in some sectors and not too many achievements in other sectors. In terms of educational infrastructure, we've got one university, a central university. We have an Indian Institute of Management, which is a great achievement for any state to have one. We have the National Institute of Technology, which is still under construction and which we should be paying attention to as a state. Even though it's a central institute, we should be paying attention. Then we have the NIGRIMS, which is supposed to be modeled along the lines of AIMS, which we again as a state should be paying more attention to. So these are some milestones which the state has achieved. However, in the area of women and child health, there's a lot of concern. The National Family Health Survey number 5 has just come out, and Meghalaya, Tripura and Bihar are the last 3 states among all the states surveyed. And we've come down on this because our maternal mortality is very high. Our infant mortality is also very high, and that came out especially during the COVID period. Then we also lack skills training. I think our state has a population that is very competent to do things with their hands, So instead of focusing only on reading and writing, most of our schools and educational institutions should be focusing on skill development, on building skills. And of course, road connectivity is still very, very poor in the rural areas. The state should make this a priority, because when your roads are connected, then the rural parts of Meghalaya will be connected to the city, and therefore transportation of goods and services will be that much easier. And what I think we need very urgently now is for the state to have an economic policy of its own. We need to know where we are going, where we are headed in terms of our economic growth. Well, there's not much change in the political scenario. There are these blame games going on about corruption in the Garo Hills District Council, which I think is a serious matter and should be investigated. For us in the media, we need to be taking note of anything that happens, because the government has to be held accountable. The purpose of a democracy is that the legislature, the executive have to be held accountable, and the only way they can be held accountable is if the media does its work properly, if the media does its work ethically.
The first thing that comes to my mind when I hear the word Meghalaya is nature. A lot of people, a lot of my friends who are not a Meghalayan, when they would come here and talk about the place, they would always mention about the nature out here. And I'm pretty proud to say that, I come from a very beautiful place that has got lots and lots of beautiful sights to see and explore. Yeah, the nature is very green, clear and pristine out here, and it has been untouched.
So whenever I think about Meghalaya, I think about the tourist spots, I think about the destinations, and there are many more spots to be discovered yet, and I want the government to give more emphasis on that and make more spots, more places to go. There are many more places to go, many amazing places.
So in terms of sports, we have in the last, I should say, probably 5-6 years, we have moved considerably. We owe our memory, we have to also commemorate and remember our past athletes. In spite of the challenges, in spite of not having proper coaches, in spite of not having proper infrastructure, they have excelled. One great milestone was when we were given the opportunity to co-host the South Asian Games, right, in 2016. After the successful conduct of the South Asian Games, we pitched in with the government and told them, let's go ahead and have the national games. So a lot of challenges we had faced. But I should say we have moved. The decision by the state government to support and go forward to host the national games is a game changer for Meghalaya.
I came in here as a student, so it must say something about the development of the state. One thing that I have noticed, which I think is the coolest part about Shillong, is the fact that it really truly is a medley of everything and everyone. So you can find different perspectives about the same topic from a million other people. Okay, maybe not a million, but a lot of other people. I think the best thing about Meghalaya is probably the people. And with the coming years, I hope the government puts more emphasis in allowing cultures of different people to mix properly together, and putting an emphasis on people rather than the things that with relation to infrastructure or other things. I think they should focus more on the people and the good things that can be achieved through that.
So if you come to Meghalaya, you'll see a lot of tribes, not only the 3 tribes that defines Meghalaya, but Hajong, Boro, a lot of Bengalis, Nepali, and a lot of other tribes. And then if you see about their modernization, how modernization affect, you can see the trends in fashion, the K-pop trend, the anime trend, the cosplays that's been going in and around. And when it comes to tourism, you can see that there's still a lot of places Meghalaya tourism hasn't discovered yet. There's lots of places in Garo Hills itself. They're still discovering. They're still researching on it. So it's a very beautiful place, and you can see a lot of diverse culture in it. Not only the tribe which defines Meghalaya, but also another tribe. There's lots of caves, rivers, lakes, streams, and a lot of folklore and folk tale.
So on that context, that is a little bit, not as rosy as I would say. In terms of my role as the chairman of the Grand Council of Chiefs of Meghalaya and also the spokesperson of the Federation of Khasi States, it is a sad thing that after I think 69 years of independence and today 49 years of statehood, and district council also having been there for quite a while, right? It is really not encouraging. Let me tell you why. If you go through the Constitution of India, you don't find the nomenclature Siem, Lingdo, Sirdar, Rangbachnong, Sordar. We have been pursuing, not only me, my predecessors, and maybe people after me also will continue to speak about the need of the government of India, the government of Meghalaya, to address the instrument of accession. So, in conclusion, I can only say that in terms of traditional institutions, we are still stuck, we are still in limbo. Nothing much has happened, except that the district council has tried to pass some legislation for some of the kingdoms, which are also yet to be tested in the courts of law.
As I know, and as far as I've seen, that Meghalaya is being developed like quite more, because the roads and all I have seen, they have been constructing and all. Thanks for the MLAs and for the home ministers and all for helping this, making this road good and all. And yeah, for the disadvantage, I'll say that petrol, I was just about to talk about the petrol thing, is being raised much more higher than it was from before. The rate of petrol is like, if you pour 100 also, in 1 liter also it doesn't goes up. So that's the problem right now.
How have we been? We've been insensitive to many things, and we, successive governments and all of that, we have claimed that we do this, we do that. As journalists, yes, everything is being lapped up, right? So obviously, I wouldn't say that our journey has been like a super solid ride. I think we have not reached anywhere. It will take another 50 years for us to reach somewhere. All the good people, all the young people who are talented and blessed by God, whose parents have actually invested in their education to make them better human beings, they won't come back, because there is nothing worth here. As a journalist, as David, that is my feeling. So there is no such thing as protection for a journalist. There is no such thing to protect the weaker class, and journalists here are definitely the weaker class. So I don't think that the state has done anything for them, because at the end of the day, we dispense information, we disseminate, we share, we educate, and then people say you create awareness too. But the outcome is what? You do so much and you're left alone.